Hello and welcome to my German Empire Let's Play. What we'll be doing this series is we'll be going over here and going down I believe it's the paternal autocrat path instead of going the normal authoritarian democrat or more democracy style path. So what I'm going to try to do here is, if at all possible, we're going to try to do a Christian trade union while we're still authoritarian democrat before we make the switch. But if we can't do it, that's alright. Um, Another decision that we're probably going to go with is we're going to jail at the Junker Estates. It's not great, but I like the idea of not losing all those extra civilian factories. Plus, the consumer goods we lose here is nice, so I think overall everything's going to be fine. Over here, state of the economy. We are definitely going to be going down the Mauser contracts to invest in the Panzer factories. And I think that's all we're going to talk about for right now. We're starting off Imperial restructuring. And I'm going to skip ahead over here to start off with... Oops, wrong button. These 70 and 80 infrastructure ones, we're just going to build a bunch of civs for now. I think that's fine for now. Free dockyards. So what we want to do is we have some convoys. Two's probably enough. Let's take a quick look at our navy. So here's a decently sized navy. Let's see. Alright, cool. So we have one actual okay fleet here. Probably this guy. Yeah, and then we have this to go with Silent Hunter and Seawolf. Sounds good. So when we look, what do we want? We'll go with a pretty big buy. Navy's not going to be a huge part of the strategy here. But we'll go pretty heavy into subs. Subs automatically go into the U-boat. And then, what do we want? You, and then, let's see. Bunch of really light ships. That's probably fine. Okay, then here we'll go with the basics. Oh, sorry, the basic search, research speed, basic machine tools, extraction, and let's go ahead and get synthetic refineries because we're going to be struggling for oil. Decisions available. Could at some point assume control of the East Asian Navy, but I think we're going to let them keep it because they need it more than us. And for now, let's just go ahead and... oh, before I do this, here's how my armies are divided up. German theater, there's these guys. They're in their overseas locations, just kind of holding. Here we have all of our infantry ready to move in a defensive line. And here's what we're going to go for an interesting choice here. We are going to go ahead and take all of our cavalry and our motorized infantry into panzer divisions. Let's take a look at these panzers. As you can see, they're not near what we need them to be. I don't want light tanks. I want medium tanks, and I want much bigger width than 12. But for now, they will do. Okay, the Constitution of the German Kaiserreich. After the crushing defeat of the Second French Empire by forces of the North German Federation, the Constitution was signed in 1871 by representatives of the Federation and 4 other states in southern Germany. The new constitutional framework created an integrated the southern states into a Prussian-led federation, thus giving a large entity a new identity as the Deutsches Reich. According to the constitution, the empire is a federation of 25 German states. The title of Bundesrat or federal president was held by the King of Prussia, a figure now invested with the title of Emperor of Germany. The emperor directly appoints the chancellor, the head of the government, and chairman of Bundesrat, the council of representatives of the German states. Laws are enacted by both the Bundesrat and the Reichstag. The House of the Imperial Diet, elected by male Germans above the age of 25. With the option to dissolve the Reichstag on a whim, it is clear that the main political power of the German Empire rests not in the Reichstag, elected by the people, but in the hands of the non-elected German emperor. Another issue of the Prussian three-class voting system, which remained mostly unchanged since 1849. 60 years after the founding of the Kaiserreich, the liberals and social democrats are going increasingly disgruntled with the status quo, and our constitution may be revised soon to help us weather the upcoming turbulence. Yeah, look at that. Oil, not too great. See, as one thing that we do want to go ahead and, okay, we have voting rights on the legation council. Kerensky's dead is over here. We want to get here relatively quickly to get armored breakthrough. Because, let's pull it up real quick. There's light, and then there's medium. Part of me wants to go get this quick, then go medium, and then into here ahead of time, but I feel like that's a bit overkill with going for quality of the medium tanks. I'd rather get the research bonus first and get slightly not as good medium tanks, but have more of them that I'm able to field. So that's what I'm going to go with. Turn that notification off. Yeah, manpower is not too good. All of the really bad bonuses is of course in place. Payment of the Brett with the Welsh corporations, the stagnation of our economy, and worsening conditions for citizens during 1935, our government has decided that in order to restart our economy, we need additional cash. The only available option to amass sufficient capital to help our economy was to force the Russian state to prematurely repay the remaining reparations of the Treaty of Brest-Litovsk. During the Berlin Conference in November 1935, President Alexander Kerensky, together with Prime Minister Vomka, were forced to accept the premature payment of Brest-Litovsk reparations. With drastic austerity measures, the Russian government was able to prematurely repay the remaining parts of reparations as they were agreed in the Treaty of Brest-Litovsk. Cool. So we're going to get... Wow, there's just so much that we're able to build right now. We need to make sure that we are using full advantage of this in order to make sure... Invading Denmark. We can recruit an operative. Let's go ahead and... guess we'll just do counterintelligence in Berlin for now. The 5th. Okay, the Sorlings elected in France. With the revenge against Germany and the World Revolution approaching, very important, the Grace replacement arose from the Sorlings, who now the majority in the CSP are Orthodox and Nicholas and advocate centralization of the Parliament as a chief institution. Okay, and then Black Monday. And we just pretty much immediately lost all of that. The run on the banks. As German citizens panicked by the collapse of the Berlin Stock Exchange are rushing to make banks run to withdraw their assets. The banks cannot afford to give such sums of money. Many are in danger of collapse. Many are clamoring for immediate government intervention to stabilize this unprecedented financial crisis. Do nothing. Private holdings. Close the banks. I don't... Let's close the banks temporarily. Yeah, our stability is absolute garbage. Hey, we got our political power back. Do we want to push for it now? Or do we want to focus on our economy? Let's get our stability up a little bit so we can get some political power bonuses first. You know what? No. I know if I let myself do it, I'll keep putting this off. Military expansion. The Chief of the General Staff has been embroiled in heated debate as to which military doctrine should be adopted. We should establish an impartial committee on military officers to oversee the adoption of new doctrine. Let's see, our production. What can we not deploy? Insufficient manpower. Okay, that makes sense. So we're going to actually go ahead, get rid of tactical bombers, put some more onto motorized. Yeah, I think tanks and air superiority is going to be how we keep ourselves in, basically conduct ourselves in war. Alright, the situation hardly improved as days followed Black Monday, which was the start of what became known as Black Week. Panic selling of stock reached an all-time high as people tried to dump their stocks before they became worthless. The Berlin stock market closed at the end of the week. The market was dead as the 11 major economic experts and top leaders of Germany had committed suicide. The German government had to hack. Alright, at least it's over. Polish monopolies crash. Okay, we lose our political power again. The FOD, alright? I can't pronounce it, or the Free Workers' Union of Germany is an umbrella organization for several trade unions founded during the turbulent period of 1919 during the French Revolution. They repeatedly denounced the syndicalist terror and therefore have been allowed to operate unimpeded until now. However, our intelligence services have produced evident proof that leaders are in contact with syndicalist organizations in other nations, such as CNT-FAI in Spain, and also suspect that some of their members are directly plotting against the Kaiser. Jail the leaders, allow them operating but watching them closely. We will jail them. Goodbye. And good riddance. Should we go ahead and Wu Peifu turns on us? Our interests in China, this is not one we really want to give up. I would really like to be able to support German East Asia as well as Middle Africa. I think they make us stronger overall. But the main priority is dealing with the Russians and the French, and to a lesser extent the British. Alright, a new doctrine. Some of the more radical innovators of our high command, including, among others, Heinz von Guderian and Erich von Manstein, are lobbying for research into a new doctrine. They want to focus on the first move of armored spearheads to break up solid fronts. Let's take a quick look over there. Do we want battlefield support, or do we want strategic destruction? No, we want to keep them. Restoration of democracy. It helps back terror. With the devastating economic situation, many families struggle to earn their daily bread, and with social security net is strained to breaking point. In recent weeks, as the weeks of many German cities have been increasingly terrorized by gangs of teenagers, these hawk steal products from the markets and shops, and often money from innocent pedestrians, or commit acts of vandalism to escape boredom and frustration. This doesn't feel safe in the street anymore, and it's clear that some of the government might see merely a low-level civic disorder instead as the markings of total societal breakdown. Mein Gott, how shocking. Oh god, disability only gets worse. Financial troubles for the colonies. Some maverick politicians proposed to bring more resources to the colonies to represent the German national, which would obviously not be popular. Dedicate as many resources as they need. Only cover the most critical expenditures, tighten our belts. We can't help them. We will definitely be helping them as much as we can. Agricultural crisis in Middle Europa. During the time of great crisis, the complacent agricultural sector of the German economy has proven to be particularly vulnerable to the economic downturn. With this in mind, several junkers representing the landed nobility of the Kingdom of Prussia have asked for protectionist legislation and state subsidies for their agricultural production. Imposing tariffs on the foreign produce, we will strengthen this vital sector of the Reich's economy and protect our farmers. Unfortunately, such a measure is likely to cause further damage to the economy of our neighbors. Dependent as they are on German markets for their food exports, the wheat crop in Ukraine is particularly vulnerable. Choosing protection measures might seriously damage them and our agrarian partners. We must protect our own peasants. We should not risk our Middle European ties. We will protect our own peasants because we don't want our country to fall apart. So I think this makes them hate us. Syndicalists' first move, the Reds are meeting to point their activities, which were definitely aimed against the order we have established in Europe. Following our victory in World Kingdoms, watch this meeting and analyze its results closely. Rhineland unrest. Workers in Rhineland are protesting against the recent anti-leftist actions by our government, especially this scale is corrected on the FOD, which many Rhine citizens have viewed as a legitimate institution free of serious syndicalist influence and support. Strong in its support for the working man. Hopefully this will not cause tragedy. Okay, here's what we're going to go ahead and do, just in case something bad happens. We're going to send these sets of infantry over here. The DK8B approaches bankruptcy because railway was established in the early 20th century and linked Addis Ababa to Djibouti after a series of German-backed expansions, now used mainly to transport ore from the Congo basin to Middle Africa to Djibouti. Because of the general economic downturn worldwide, ore is no longer being purchased at this rate it once was, resulting in fewer transports for the DPAEB. Institutional such levels to relate itself to bankruptcy. Keep it running. We will keep it running. Ooh, please don't crash. Okay, cool. Yes, we are not cowards. Bankruptcy will not stop us. Let's see what... New Pope elected. Continue the policy of predecessors, that's not too bad. Alright, the Kenyatte Self affair. The unusual case has reached the highest court in German state. Political activist Demoka has brought a class action lawsuit against former African star William Soft. The case has become something of an embarrassment, as some of the plaintiffs are veterans of the Weltkrieg who cannot be easily dismissed. They claim that Soft's administration harmed them through policies of illegal seizures, even abduction and torture, all done self-knowledge and with little legal basis. Quietly, the Foreign Office explains to the government that such things are common and necessary for criminal administration. Strongly urge we quash this motion. The court has no right to rule in Middle African affairs. What's the worst that can happen? The court has no right to rule in Middle African affairs. Yeah, so right now we're not in a great position to fight anyone off. But one thing that we really would like to get rid of, Communard franchise's true face Reds are clearly set to spread their poison as they dynasty show during the last session election. We prepare for anything free manpower, but we really want to get rid of quench militarism, which we get rid of. I know I remember where. Here we go, militarist revival, that's 3%, and then I knew I saw this somewhere. Never mind, I am blind. Oh wait, no. That is what gets rid of it. Militarist revival, yes. Does not have the national spirit quench militarism. I think what just gets rid of that after new textbook, but I believe it's fine. I have full faith that we'll be fine with our manpower by the time the war comes. We just need to deal with our economy first. One thing that I would like to do, though, while we're at it, is try to get the Netherlands to join us. As long as they don't go syndicalist, we should be fine. Concentrated industry or dispersed industry. Let's go with concentrated. We can get that high level tank relatively quickly, because we're only, I think, one more national focus away from it. We are. Armored breakthrough. Another crucial point of Gundarians and Mansman's new doctrine is the so-called Swertpunk. They believe that panzer technology is advanced to a point where massed mobile panzer forces, which adequately equipped support troops, should be able to lead an offensive to victory. Now they need new panzers to fit this idea. Then after that, we are moving back over there. Costa Rica requests our assistance. Offer them assistance. We got you, Costa Rica. Thanks to the rippling effects of Black Monday, German investors who held majority shares in Greek factories and mines have been closing those businesses down. In some cases because they're unprofitable, but in others because the investors have gone bankrupt. The Greek government has responded by seizing the companies, despite the treaty signed after the war, explaining that our investors have unfettered access to their economy. Many in the government are suggesting we respond harshly and not only apply sanctions but pull all investment out of Greece altogether. Some say this country is trying to stay afloat. Black money is does always try to apply sanctions and pull all business out. Or just apply the sanctions and address their outrage. Let them be. We apply harsh sanctions. Alright. The suffragette movement. We are not going down that path, I believe. Yes, we don't want social democracy or social liberalism increasing ours, so we'll go for the one that gives us the least political power loss. Also, this makes France mad, but we're already going to war with them, so that's not something we're super worried about. Rhino strikes over. Great. So that factory output is now coming back. Let's go ahead and decrease this some. Yeah, we have basically no production right now of civs, but that's fine. All is fine. After this, you know, we'll get more resource gain efficiency, and after this we're actually going to, we'll give up. We won't go for Christian Trade Union, we'll go with Aftermath of Black Monday, and we'll try to start fixing our problems over there. And we just got a big jump in world tension. Yeah, this is not a great place to hold. One argument that there is to be had is, which do we prefer to go after first? The, Communard operative capture, nice. Do we want to go after France first or Russia first? I think it's easier just to put some troops on the French borders and fight the Russians first. But we'll see how things change as the war goes on. Aftermath of Black Monday, the great stock market crash in 1935, known as Black Monday, has already had a massive impact on German politics, culture, and society. While damage might never truly be known, let alone fixed, we should enact reforms and recover policies to regain some of our lost capacity. And the next open research slot we get is going to be, Bulgaria has embargoed us. Well, have fun getting owned by the, I'm blinking. Is it the Belgrade Pact? Ethnic conflict in Sri Lanka. Yes, Belgrade Pact. So, have fun. Could still assume control of the East German Navy, but I don't think that's a good idea, all in all. Alright. It's the perfect opportunity to go with this higher level light tank. Gold Standard, Black Monday. Huh, wait a minute. Requires one of the following. Restore the Bundesrat, final centralization. Huh. Okay, maybe we will need to go down that path. Let's go ahead and try to get Christian Trade Union. Organize the youth. Some experts have suggested that the best solution against the current lawlessness in our nation's youth would be organizing them so they can learn new skills and employ their energy for the public good. Such organizations would require increased spending for such an endeavor. Yeah, this will overall be nice, I believe. Final centralization is pretty nice. Plus, you know, the free stability, plus factory output. There's nothing negative about it. I just would rather have been able to just beeline down bailing out the Junker estates. But, you know, how long is this still good for? Till 37. Yeah, this could get even worse. Synthetic oil. Let's go ahead and get fuel refining. We want to get our oil as good in as good of a position as possible. After the Franco-German War of 1870-71, the Synthetic was the subsequent victory at Sedan, where we captured the last French emperor and employed the third in the queen of their army. Originally a holiday to honor the Prussian military, from the celebration of the Reich's foundation, and after the Weltkrieg, the humbling of its foes. In every town and village, from Orange to Memel, every street is decorated in black, white, and red. Every bell proudly proclaims a day of celebration. Noble soldiers and innumerable veterans parade proudly through the streets, cheered by the happy masses. Indeed, this is a good day. It reminds us all that peace and prosperity have enjoyed since the forging of the Reich. Okay, some free political power. I'll take it. Why do we get free guns from this? Some research to be done in this. But for now, we'll leave it because I don't want to spend civs on it. We need Easter promises on April 7th, 1917, when the war was at its very worst. After the horrifying turn-up winter, the Kaiser promised substantial reforms and abolition of the three classes of Prussia. However, he promised all of that without offering an actual date. It'll be time to remind the Kaiser of his promises. Some nice free political power gain, never hurt anyone. Honestly, based off of what we probably want to do, it probably makes more sense to send our divisions out like this. And infantry divisions with artillery, and we'll start making a few of those when we can. And let's get this level of infantry just so we can have it done. Lots more divisions are going to be needed to hold this front line. Also, more is obviously going to be needed to hold this line, but it's a step in the right direction. Huh. France always needed a strong hand. Whoa. Costa Rica requests German garrison. Send a detachment. You know what? Sure, why not? That doesn't hurt anything. So we've got a few troops there to hold. I'm going to go ahead and get this ready. It's ahead of time. It's 389 days. It's not even ahead of time, but it's just research increased by 75%. But it'll be worth it. So we're going to go ahead and select that. And with that, we've actually run out of time for this episode. Please leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed. And I'll see you in the next one.